Hello everyone, this is Kelly with Crafting Creation Studio, and I am doing an order for one of my co-workers. They went to the beach for their family vacation, and she's wanting me to pour her 6 coaster modes with the sand that she brought back from the beach and shells that she brought back from the beach. So I have mixed some sand in with some resin to pour in the bottom of the molds for the sand effect. And it's really pretty white sand too, so hopefully I do okay with this. So let's go ahead and start pouring this. Add a little bit more to it. And let me get my gloves on. I always forget that step because I'm not a gloves kind of girl. Even in the wintertime when it's cold, I don't like wearing gloves. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more sand to mix in with these 2 cups here. And I'm going to pour a little bit on top of this to kind of give it that whiter look, because the sand kind of changes colors when you mix it with resin, of course. And it definitely thickens the resin up, which is good because that'll make it stay where I want it to stay. Let's break down. Alright, now see if I can make this last little bit be enough to fill in these last 2 cavities. I think it's going to be good. And this is my first time doing beach themed coasters. I've not done much beach themed anything. My biggest concern is making the waves look right. There it is. I'll get that out of there. Okay. Alright, so that part looks good. I'm going to just sprinkle a little more sand. On top of this part of it. shells picked for placement on the sand. I'm going to get my tweezers. And this is also going to be a two-part video on my part. It's going to be one video for you, but I think I'm going to let the sand and stuff kind of cure a little bit before I pour the next layer, because I don't want it all blending and mixing up. That's such a pretty shell right there. It stayed together. Just kind of opened up and folded in half there. Same thing with that one. All right, maybe one more small one. I just saw one and I lost it. There's a bag full of sand here. Let's do one of these little round, like that, right there. Alright, let's start on this next one. Put that one here in the middle. Another one of these that stayed together and opened up. A small one right there. Maybe another small one down here in this bottom corner. Right there. Okay. Moving right along. Small one up here by that one maybe, and then maybe one more tiny one right there. Alright, that looks good. Put that one there in the center. I wish I had some more of them little round real small one. There, and then maybe one more piece. There's a tiny piece right there. That one looks like it's got a smiley face on it. How cute. Oh, that one's pretty. And let me see if I got one more little small to put right there. Let's see. Everybody having a good day so far? I hope you are. Let's see if we can find an oblong one to put right there. What do y'all think? Y'all think that looks good? Maybe another little darker one there. Right in there. One back here. Sorry, I'm picking through shells. Me being quiet again. Try to get as many of the void places filled in so there's not a bunch of bare. Okay, I think that looks good. I may put one more right there. And one right there. There. And I just keep adding, don't I? But I want it to turn out really nice for her. It was a fun trip for her and her family, and deserved. Okay. I think that looks good. I'm going to stop there. And we're going to let this cure, and we'll come back and get the rest of the resin poured. Okay, so let's go ahead and pour some resin up here at the top. So I can start mixing in my sky and ocean waves. I love the beach. I want to go. I haven't been in like 4 years. It's about due time, but don't think we're going to make it there this summer. Maybe next year. And these are thick coaster molds. I'm just going to go ahead and finish using this resin that I've got mixed. And then get the color in there for the water and the sky. And then once that is cured, I will top coat it with clear. And maybe just a little bit of glisten. I don't know about the glisten yet. She didn't really mention anything about wanting anything like that, but I like sparkles, and I think she would too, as long as it's not too overbearing. Okay. Alright, so the colors I have chosen today is this Hanger alcohol ink called Yonder. Hanger alcohol ink called Electric, which is got the little ball thing in it to mix it up. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of this ice resin tint. It's kind of a green to kind of mix with the blue, because, you know, the ocean tends to have kind of sometimes a blue-green tint to it. And then I've got my ocean white pigment paste that I'm going to mix up in this little cup that I've got put aside over here. I got about an ounce mixed up for that, for the water, the waves in the water, that is. 1, 2, 3 drops. It may have been too much, but that's okay. It's going to be white regardless. And then I will use my heat gun to kind of mix that around, but get that mixed in first for the white waves. I'm not making a bed. Let me find a lighter blue alcohol ink. I think for the sky it needs to be a little bit lighter than that, because I don't want to mess these up. I've got all that done and got all the shells put in there and the sand mixed in there, even though I have more shells and stuff. We're not be able to reuse those. Let's just do just the regular glue in the Let's Resin alcohol ink. And we're just gonna drop some drops up here for the sky. Must not have my hole very big because it's not wanting to come out very easy. Well, there it goes. Maybe if I don't try to force it. I want to let that kind of spread for a minute. Then I'm going to come in with this darker shade for the water. Kind of swirl these together. Keep it off of the sand as much as I can, because it's going to move regardless. But I don't want it covering the shells. Taken away from the shells on the beach. Like it's trying to do. I may have put too much in there. Like I said, this is my first time doing this. But we're going to make it work regardless if I have to sit here and work with it for 3 hours. Keep it off of them shells. I won't put near as much in this next one. All right, let me just do a couple of drops and work that around. And one more right there. Try to keep it up there at the top too for the, I don't know that she's necessarily worried about a sky as long as she's got the water. She was mostly wanting the water and the shell effect. Over there. And there. That spread a little. off of that shell. Maybe if I scoot these shells back a little bit. And I've got my heat mat on to kind of help cure it fast so it will stop moving. I'm going to go a little darker with this one. And a little bit more in this one. Wiped off. Get it wiped off so my mold doesn't get stained. Get this pushed back again off of the shells. I wish that when you put alcohol ink in where you work it and push it to, that it would just stay there, but alcohol ink is gonna move. That's just what it does. But I do think that looks pretty. Doing pretty good for my first try at it, I think. But it's not done yet, so that's still left to be seen when it's finished. But it does look like water. I'm just going to keep working it and swirling it till it sets up and stops moving so much. Keep it up there on the edge. So what do y'all think? I think it looks good. I ain't attempted the waves yet though. That's where it's probably gonna get me. And I've never done waves before. I watched a lot of videos of people doing them. I just haven't done them. But experience is the best teacher. I'm gonna go a little bit more up here. Yeah, that looks better. I gotta put that sand left over back in the bag. Get off of the blue. Stay off of the shells. Going to keep dripping until I get it to the consistency that I want color-wise. It shouldn't take it too long to start getting thick in the on this heat mat. And then I'll turn it off to alright, y'all. I'm fixing to attempt the waves, so y'all keep your fingers crossed for me that I don't mess it up. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take and draw a thin line across the top of it here. Then, let me see if this little thing here is strong enough. I don't think it's going to be. It doesn't blow very hard. Maybe if I help it along. I think that looks good. I'm proud of myself. All right. Turn this off. And then I'll keep working it. Yay! A proud moment for me. Alright. Move along this one. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on all of them just so they don't get too thick to work with. Because it is starting to get thick, and I don't want that. That's what I like about using this white pigment, because you know you can use this for blooms as well, and just stick it right down into the resin as you're putting it in there. I should be good, I think. I'll just take my, get all this off my fingers. Okay, start getting this all moved. And if you're kind of coming into the beach area, and it's starting to thicken up on this heat mat, which is good, in my opinion, because it means it won't be moving as much, and I don't want it to. I'll do that waves coming in imagery. So what do y'all think? Y'all think it looks good? I think it looks good, especially for my first try at it. Get a little bit more for this area. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I don't know if y'all can see how good it looks over the phone, but to me, it looks very realistic. And that's the look I was going for. Yay, yay, yay. And I am using the last of my paper towels, so I'm going to have to go to the house to get more. So we are going to let this sit here, and I'll probably work with it just a little bit, and then let it get kind of good and cured, and then I'll get the next layer poured. So I will see you guys here shortly. Okay, I actually poured a little bit without thinking that I had not started filming again. So I am doing the top coat now. And I got a couple of them poured, so I'm going to pour the other 3. And I'm kind of doing these in sections before I fill them all the way up. I did send her pictures, and she is over the moon in love with them. She said they look exactly the way she wanted them to. So that makes me happy. And I'll get this middle section cured, and then we'll finish filling them up with just clear with no shimmer. So I asked her if she wanted just a little bit of shimmer in them, and she said whatever I think, and y'all know me, I like shimmer. So we got some shimmer in there. And I'm going to move this around just a little bit, because a lot of that was congregated up there at the top. Okay, so there is the second coat. We're going to let that get good and cured, and then come back and put that final top coat on it with just clear, no shimmer, no anything extra. So I'll see you here in a bit. Okay, let's get this final layer poured on these. They have turned out so pretty. I'm very, very proud. Especially for it to be my first time doing an ocean scene and getting it right. That alone is a major accomplishment for me. Well, I mixed up 10 more ounces, and it took all 10 ounces to finish filling these. They're very deep mold, coaster molds. I had to scrape this one to get it. Completely full. So what do y'all think? Did I do pretty good? I am loving the turnout. Let me find something to wipe my hand on. Forgot to grab some more paper towels when I went inside earlier, so I had some stuff out here to use, but I can't find it. Don't know where they went. But anyway, it is done. Now just gotta let this last layer cure, and the coaster molds will be complete. So we're gonna let these cure, and then I hate the way this light puts that glare on things. Put it right about right there. So yeah, I'm gonna let these cure, and then I will do some pictures and displays of them so you can see how they turned out in the very final end of the curing process. So come back shortly, or I'll come back shortly, and we'll get this finished up. Okay everyone, it is time to demold these beautiful ocean coasters. That was an order that I was filling for a coworker for she brought back some sand and shells from the beach. They went to Fort Walton Beach for their vacation, and she wanted some coasters made so she could have them as memorabilia from their beach trip. So let's get these unmolded. It's got a couple of bubbles in it. I'm probably going to re-pour this one. It kind of got messed up. But that's my own fault because I was messing with it and shouldn't have been. But there is one of them. Very, very pretty. And I'll re-pour the other one tomorrow. I got some trimming to do. But that is typical. They turned out so good. I'm so proud of myself for doing good on my first try at making a beach scene. So now I have got these pre-cut cork backers to go on them. And they are just a peel and stick. Stand up and just kind of put it on there where it's going to be even. And it's as simple as that. Peel and stick. So pretty. So, so pretty. Well, I hate that I messed up this one, but I did. I thought that it was already cured on top and I touched it. Don't think I can fix that, so I'm just gonna re-pour that one. I still have sand and shells, so we're good. I'll get the bottom of them are great. They don't need anything done to the bottom. But that top part has got to be, got to be sanded or trimmed some. One more because I gotta pour that other one. I'll just keep it and use it here in my studio for myself. Luckily I have more sand and stuff to recreate. Alright, let me get these laid out so y'all can get another look at them. And then I will get these trimmed up and some pictures put up of them.